Through here, guys, from Fed's Powell. Again, this speech has been released, so just a heads up on the overall market, saying they're not confident they have gone restrictive enough. Everything else I'm seeing right now, basically the same as we've heard before. But again, that first one, Fed's Powell not confident they have gone restrictive enough. He also says if they feel the need to tighten further, they will do so. So again, just be aware this speech from Fed Chair Powell's imminent here. I don't actually see him on the feed itself yet, but we'll see when that comes out. Again, the written portion of this speech is out. There is going to be a Q&A as a part of this discussion that he's taking part in. It is, again, a panel discussion, which typically means it'll be more than him. It'll be 3 or 4 or even 5 people. I've seen him on these. But a bit of a spike to the downside there for the overall market. That's the cues anyways. Just tested day lows. We are bouncing back. So Powell also saying we are attentive to growth and risks that could undermine their current path. So again, more comments coming through here. We expect GDP growth to moderate in coming quarters, but remain to be seen. Again, so more and more comments coming through here. This live feed has come up. So it looks like it's actually going to be 5 people, guys, participating in this. Jerome Powell and 4 others going to be on this panel. I'll bring you anything that comes of this right now as we head towards day lows, guys.
The market, thanks a lot, Papa. The big Papa pump didn't pump anything today unless it's pump the brakes on the rally or run out of punts. The market is now down 0.5%. It was looking pretty strong, and we just got to, just keep in mind, we just got to the bottoms from yesterday. So there's always a chance 15.3 puts in some support for us. The only thing I did just now on that last flush when we got the speech was take something out. I'm in that Fisker patience pays. Every EV name is getting its butt kicked, but the big difference this afternoon is a rollover in some of the chip names that have been holding on to some strength. So Micron is up 2.7. If you were watching Micron earlier, it was much stronger than this. You know, if we're going to catch a bid here, I'm looking at 74. The chips led to strength. I'd rather be taking profit on them if we bounce. And as I say that, we just cracked 15.3. So hold on to your butts, hold on to your shorts, all that stuff. Oh, I just realized I'm not in the chat. Even Intel's back at 38. Like, this is insane. Hold on to your shorts. I got to get myself logged into the chat here just so I can see your comments, and hopefully people have covered their longs.
Oh, man. We are now $2 in the money again. We already crushed Tesla the first time, and we're doing it one more time here as there it goes, man. Unfortunately, we covered our 215 short at 210 right there when it broke. We didn't get that 207 bottom, but look what we did again. We averaged back into the short on this loop downside, and now you're taking out the bottom one more time here for Tesla. You're also taking out the bottom for, well, close, hopefully taking out the bottom here for Microsoft, as there's some more shorts that view up coming back in right now. So there we go. Let's hold these. We've got a good one on right now, and today has been a hell of a day, and I just hope that you guys, like Neil said, have covered your shorts. And or longs. I covered some shorts. Covered your longs. Good catch there on this move back in. But hey, 10 days in a row, still possible, only down 0.5%. But for right now, we'll wait to hear. I guess it was prepared comments, right? So everybody kind of knows what the deal is right there. There comes Tesla coming right back up. I'm just going to hold it, see what happens. We already got at a half right there. So for right now, the market's just a little jittery here, to say the least.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is only 0.5% to the downside. So I suppose it is possible we hold on to that win streak, although I think I felt a little bit better about it yesterday. And even yesterday, I was pretty skittish on it. I voted that it would on almost a lark more than anything else, just for the fun of it. I wasn't even a true believer that it would happen. It just wouldn't break away from flat. I think if you're looking to catch some bids, again, maybe the chips. There was a reversal for me at 38.2 on Intel. I'm thinking about it bouncing off 38, maybe regaining some of that, but I don't think you want to rush into longs. You don't have to. If you look at what's going on in crypto land, bye-bye. I try a little dip buy action. Some like win, lose, lose. 1 for 3 is only good if you play professional baseball. But crypto, even up 6%. Coin is to the downside now. Just double checking when to look. I don't have to pull it up here, but load. Bitcoin did not hold. I know it didn't hold on to 37. We're chilling at 36.5 or so with a little bit of a stair step to the downside. But Coinbase, when there's a pullback, tends to pull back a little bit more. I don't know if we get a chance at 96, but this might get all the way back into where we started in the low 90s. You've already seen some carnage on the way back for the riots and the Mars of the world. And if you think it's just the EVs that are getting shellacked today, there's an SSR warning for SoFi. SoFi is pretty darn close to 10% to the downside. I mean, everybody's getting hit in this move down, and SoFi is about to hit. It's my trend line, but it kind of is what it is. If it gets to 650, it's the bottom of that trend line. If it can't bounce there, it could get even nastier for this fintech name. I'm a little surprised. Did not think we'd see $5 again so soon on SoFi, but it seems like it could be the case.
All right, I'm just listening to this conference, guys. The intros are still going on, so they haven't actually said anything, or Fed Chair Powell hasn't actually even started to speak at this point. Again, a few of the comments, a greater share of progress on inflation ahead may have to come from tighter monetary policy, not just supply side improvement, short-term U.S. interest rates already pricing in lower prices at this point. Again, I'll keep you updated, but as soon as Fed Chair Powell comes on and actually speaks, we'll see if we don't get a little bit of a move here.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
obviously
getting one now.
I mean, the market's calling it hawkish. But
We just went short right now, so new position alert. Yeah, well, like me and Neil just talking about like what people in the chat are saying and like what Powell is saying, but we know that we have Brendan there. So I mean, if you guys are watching for news, stuff like that, Brendan's listening to it, going to figure it out, has news sources. We have Benzinga Pro, all that kind of stuff. So if anything, dramatic, or we're going to throw immediately to Brendan. So do not, never fear. Mr. Wickens, of course, is here. All right, so I thought I had a bid down here, but I do not. So I feel like for Microsoft, because we didn't take that much there. It didn't go down that far, but we took, we're short 60, what are we short now, 61? We just got a 45 there, but now you're trying to bounce around again on Apple. So I want to go short this. I'm going to be short this until 183. Let's just see if the momentum is in this name. And if it wants to go back up, fine. I mean, we can get out. I mean, this is well worth the risk here. And if the market does continue to fall, like let's just say, and you got to play both scenarios, right? Like what if Powell continues to be hawkish, or what if that tightening continues to be the talk? I talked about it this morning. We went to the CME Fed rate tool, and maybe we'll check that out in a half hour or so after this. But it was roughly 89% or something. We're gonna have Frank, Brendan, quickly.
He's just starting speaking right now. So we're going to get this speech first that we just got released and some of the comments to go along with that. Once that has finished, I'm sure all of them will speak, and then the Q&A will start, guys.
All of them.
All of them. Five of them talking. There's even a member that I've never even seen before whose name I can't pronounce. I'm like, okay. I need some kind of like a cheat sheet or a short list as to who matters and who doesn't when it comes to the Fed. Shout out to anybody. I just saw in the chat there, and I'm with a chuckle, third world big in the chat saying, you held on to your Rivian trade. I did that thing where I get in a couple times and then get trailed out and then move to something else instead of sticking with this one. All of these are bad. Tesla's destroyed. Rivian is destroyed. Lucid was already destroyed and down another 4%. Like Lucid's down 4% and the other 7% because Lucid was already down at the bottom. So that's my theory in it. I was not patient enough to be in Lucid like we were in the afternoon and just sit in this silly thing until it finally broke down. However, I did sit in Fisker, which was exactly the same idea. I was in both these short looking for something to fall over yesterday. Went into one of them. This one did finally roll over. It's down 7%, but I do think at some point these are going to catch a bit of a bid. There's nothing really on the daily chart. 350 can make a lot of sense, but these EVs are sick. Pretty much all of them call up PSNY. I don't know, Mullen probably. I really haven't looked at them, but probably they're probably getting destroyed. That's where it is, and you do not want to fight these trends. At some point, some of these have to survive. Somebody out of these EV names that are getting beaten up, is going to make it to the light at the other end of the tunnel in a few years. And you're starting to get into some prices where we were talking about this before we came on. It's like, at what point do you just pick the one you love? And I'm not talking about Tesla, I'm talking about the others. put in 1 or 2% of your portfolio and just say, look, this is either going to become 10% of my 10%, or I'm going to lose it all because one of these is going to make it.
There's a protester at the event cut short.
Seriously?
Yeah. So it's he's no longer speaking. Unfortunately, they'll get that protester out of there. Okay, Brennan has it.
Yeah, unfortunate, guys. They've just cut this feed off. A bunch of people ran up on stage. There was an unfortunate slip, I guess. They left the mic on, and Jerome Powell actually said, just close the effing door.
Exactly.
Goddamn right.
Exactly what you got to do. Get those guys or women or whoever it was out of there. But like what? Now they're protesting what? The Fed?
Oh, man.
Like what? Like I don't understand what exactly is Jerome Powell supposed to do? I mean, they want with the guys like a mortgage underwater or something. I mean, I get it. It's unfortunate, but all right, we'll get that. And hey, man, free speech.
No, I am all
down for it.
I'm all for it. It's just
sucks for us right now.
no, like I don't know. They're probably more. I don't know what they're protesting. So
I'm getting some more.
Sometimes there's more effective things. My guess is it's probably along. And I'm not going to go to conspiracy theory, but it is the IMF,
Right.
And there are very strong opinions about the IMF, especially when it comes to smaller countries.
There was some oil protesters the other day with that art piece in France.
It could be anything. I won't get into any stories about the IMF in small countries like in the West Indies, but there are stories out there.
Seems like you're getting into those stories as
No,
we speak,
I don't.
To be honest with you. I don't want to tell you who my favorite quarterback is, but you know, there's like this guy named Pat Mahomes.
You guys are saying it's climate protesters, anyways, but no. So like, my family's from Antigua, and it's not a very big island. So when you know people that eventually went to university in North America and then went back to the island, you end up knowing some. You know, I don't want to get too much into it. I really shouldn't, and you know, let's just say that. I know a few people. When I went into economics, there was a person who was kind enough, that was a friend in Antigua, to be able to talk to me about that path and whatnot. And let's just say you hear some things. The IMF isn't always seen as favorable by smaller countries.
No, there's probably a lot of injustices. Just look right now, guys. We just gave you this trade. We said Apple right there. We said Apple right there at 183. I mean, we're short Apple right now, 182.90. It's 40 cents in the money. We're starting to take some profit right now. I love these kind of markets, man, when this starts dancing around. I mean, it's not great, you know, if you're had some kind of a, you know, bias one way and then all of a sudden it got changed and you're caught right now. But the thing is, it's giving us the movements, and the reason why I say I like it, because trading support and resistance at different key levels, when they start to hit, you know, it gives you opportunities, right? And so we just talked about that 183. Like Biden, Powell talking right there obviously said something, spiked it up, and then all of a sudden, boom, the market just is like, nah, man, we're not going up today. And then it came all the way back down. So it could backfire against you 100%, which is why right now I choose the path of least resistance and start covering some of these shorts because, hey, man, this, like, look, this is 50 cents in the money. Right now. So, I mean, there it is. It's a nice call so far. Tesla also. Oh, by the way, Microsoft, we got that fill as well. So the shorts are starting to pay off. I mean, this Microsoft is boom right there, right back in. So get your covers when you can. We covered some Apple there, and it just bounces right back up. So we'll wait for more information, obviously, from Brendo. But right now, I've got him back on. I see people in the chat that...
He is on
he's back on right now, so that's good. Hopefully that's good, and he can resume his hawkish talk.
If that's what he's going to do. Brendo?
Yeah, they're actually just, so it's back up now, but they're sitting here, it looks like waiting for Jerome Powell to come back out, and he's the only one that has not come back out. So I'll let you know when he starts talking.
Jerome, get back out there. So a couple of things broke down while this was happening. It's all things came full circle on a firm. In terms of, I was short this down at 25 and then twice stopped out at local highs, and now firm. Well, I didn't hold it all day long, so it's not lost over there. But I do like this fade now that it's breaking down beneath a bit of a. It's not really a triple bottom. These are technically lower highs around 25.40. But I'm going to look for any kind of a pop up to fade. If it breaks 50s, I still want to play VWAP on this. It's up so much that you know, when you make a break, there you go. When you make a breakout like this on the daily chart and you wick it in a stock like Affirm and a squeeze name, if this market wants to flush, then I think the profit takers can come in mass, which they've done at this exact level back on Affirm. I have now trailed my stop on Micron. This is a super strong name on the daily. Again, it's another stock which has broken a high on the daily chart and is rolling back over, but I want to trail it. If it gets back above here, which is 74.5, I'll get it out, and I'm shooting for a break of 74 even on that name. So I want to get into Affirm on any pop, as that looks like an absolute dog. You might still see me in that Astra, which is not really moving all that much. Mr. Powell, it is what it is. Even Virgin Galactic could flat bottom break. Yes, that's me on Virgin Galactic today. It's not the top wick, because I punched out at 26 and somebody else punched out at 7s and 8s based on this chart. So somebody had it worse than I did. And eventually it ended up working, but if this breaks 185, it's not a clean flat bottom break, but pre-market resistance into dip buy zone at 10 o'clock, into fall off the ledge here, up 20% Virgin Galactic. They're going to cut some costs, which they need to do if they want to survive, but squeeze up, you can always flush back down in. So that's one I have my eyes on for another flat bottom break. If it happens, it's always a big if. And just to get this one, I've been in and out of Astra. I'm going to pull this bid because I think if the market comes back down, I might get some money fills down at 120. There's been a few ranges that I've been playing the stock, $1.50 offer, not trading near the price, but I'm scalping in and out. I think it's more like 2 or 3 cents that you can get on this trade. You're not going to get movement like you saw in the morning. So it's only if you have direct market access. Otherwise, if you see me in this, it's not going to be anything that is the normal style trading you'd see here.
Yeah, this is different style right now. Like I just said, man, hopefully Fed Chair Powell can take the mic and resume hawkish talk, and that's exactly what he did. I just put out a couple tweets here about being short Microsoft and Tesla while we're on the mic, and I even tweeted out, greed ain't good. I know it's not proper English, but I just feel like right now when this market comes back in, you have to be able to take profits. So that's the one thing here. We don't know what's next, right? You could turn around and I'm not sure if they're going to take a Q&A on this or not, but
yes, they're supposed to.
Yeah, okay, so if they do, then hopefully there will be something coming through on that, but we're just going to start to capture some more profit here on all of these plays. Microsoft is already well cooked, down to the downside. We took about $1.50 on that. And then the AMC, man, this is still that stupid same trade from the morning. We only have 10% of it. I was just holding for one of these, but Brent...
Yeah, just quickly, guys, there is going to be a Q&A. Like I said, it's a panel, so there's 5 of them. So the questions will be free for all, I assume, but Powell is still speaking right now, then I'm assuming the Q&A.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. See,
Brandon only said that about 10 times before I had to get that message straight. So
it's
you even mentioned it as well. So
why?
Thanks a lot, guys.
No, but I only know it because
It's my fault, yeah.
No, when I went to put my makeup on, I heard Brendan say it.
We don't wear makeup. What are you talking about?
Whatever. The station's over there near the desk.
Don't give it away.
Brendan said it in that moment. I had absolutely no clue. I can't pretend that I knew something like that. A lot of times I don't know anything about a company we're talking about, and I'll put in our chat, Brendan, what's the name of this company? What's going on with that news? I'm just going to look at the chart, and when you're trading, that's what it's all about. On a side note, Josh Allen's not tanking the markets in his press conference right now.
What's he talking about?
Oh, they're talking about how they're going to beat the. Anyways, they're having a press conference.
Is he talking about the December 17th matchup against the Dallas Cowboys?
Probably. I just felt like
your quarterback, Dak Prescott, Sharif.
Your quarterback, Dak Prescott. I just thought I'd throw that out there. And yes, we do wear. And again, first of all, this was not my choice for us to wear makeup, but there are ridiculous lights that are literally blinding us at all times. And I do have a bit of a shiny head, and you would see a bit of a glare if I did not.
Look at Apple.
It is the right thing. But this market is now bleeding. Pull your bids.
Bye-bye.
Hang on to your shorts. I might slip into I'm going to wet the beak on the, I don't want this breaking 25 without me. This is a firm. So we'll go for it. Yeah, now I have to get 10s. I just saw someone put in DraftKings. Is that giving it up as well? Because DraftKings was...
Every single name should be giving it up.
In theory.
I mean,
there's something
what
strong
is holding
somewhere.
a bid rate?
Oh, DraftKings
Disney would be maybe my guess.
DraftKings broke the low.
Okay, so there you go. And when you break the low, there ain't nowhere else to go but
Oh, I
lower.
got this bad wick in here. Yeah, I don't see an obvious level. There we go. I just got a firm. That was a very weird fill in that it took a long time for the message to come in. Why we say go Jags?
Saw someone in the chat. What's up, Matthew Horton?
Oh, this will be a relatively
I
tight
just
stop
started their
taking this
defense,
consolidation.
so we'll see what happens.
Who they play?
Good question. The problem is I had a really crappy defense in there. I had Giants against Dallas, so that ain't happening. Oh, it's not much better. They're playing San Fran, but the thing is, San Fran, CMC's going to play, but Purdy can throw picks. As you know, he threw a pick 6 last game, so hopefully that can happen again. But I have Panthers D tonight against, and I was just saying in our chat, our group chat with our friends there, that having the Panthers D at least makes it exciting tonight.
Yes.
I mean, you watch, Chicago's going to put up 50 probably.
I'm just giving Screwface to Steve G in the chat.
Oh no, what's he doing?
A bit of a glare, more like the surface of the sun.
Ouch.
It's not that bad. It's pretty bad. It's not that bad.
I want to see a picture of Steve G.
When I had my COVID cut and I was shaving my head
There's
bald,
Yanni in the back.
that was bad. What's up, Yanni?
There he is. Yeah, this guy is like the sun shines so bright on this kid, he has to wear sunglasses inside. Look at this guy. Look at that handsome devil there.
He just said he's going outside, but I can confirm that Yanni always has them on inside, and everybody knows it around here.
This guy's Corey Hart, but trading. You know, he wears his sunglasses, and that's what it is. So
Good song.
all right, this is why, there it is. Yeah, everyone likes that one there. So, okay, this is why we cover, right? And we talked about that just before we threw it over to Neil. We both said you got to be very, very patient with your trades here today and cover. And I tweeted it out. We just talked about it. So look at all these covers. I mean, it's literally, there's 2 or 3 fills there, and then we just got out on that dip down as you guys saw me take it. So pretty good trading to not to end, but to sort of wrap up that little move down there from the Fed and from Powell speaking. So we'll wait to see what's going on. Just a quick look at crypto right now. If you guys are in, you know, whatever names, I'm just going to show you a rough little portfolio. This is not my portfolio, but just I guess a watch list more like of stock and crypto names. So right there, Bitcoin actually got to 37 and change today, now 36. So we're down a little bit off that high. You can see there's a little spike there. Everything's spiking and pushing. Look at these all pushing down recently, but it's been a nice 7 days for many of these names. So just be careful looking at this as crypto bouncing around right now. And then we actually even talked about Coinbase. It's crazy. Like, we were throwing so much shade at this name today when it was at $100, and now it's only $7 down. Like, what? I want to. If you want to talk about a missed opportunity, there is not
a better one.
There is simply not a better one. I think Tesla gave you a similar move, but not 7%.
100, but 100 even is
right.
That's the difference.
Such an easy level.
It's well, the only thing better was $8 on AMC. Because
yeah, well, we have that.
So here's again, it's not a regret because at least that one was trade. But when you talk about an opportunity, there's the percent move, but then there's like what you had to do to get it. Like AMC bounced literally at $8 multiple times, so you really didn't have to risk much, and then you get like that over 10% move. That's why I think Coinbase was such a bad missed opportunity, because it's right at 100. It shows you this is a 3-minute chart. That's a solid 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. It's up there above 950 for it to come down in. I did try to bounce off VWAP. It looked okay for a second. The reload was no good. That is what it is. I'm now into. Okay. Let's do this in the right order. I'm trail out of Micron as it bounces off of this higher low at 74. So I'm out of Micron. I'm into Intel off of. Intel with a weird barcode today. So I was short Intel off of the previous high, got out and reversed into the long, and I'm now back into the long off 38. And as that spikes up, well, I did just get into a firm and told you it would be a relatively tight stop. Just to quickly show you. Here we go. So now you're catching a bit on a firm.
Spike here.
This is a previous low. I'm not holding it past that. If I'm shorting at the bottom, I'm always doing it with a relatively tight stop. So this is not held to VWAP. I'm out. If we break that low, previous low, if it gets to VWAP, that's a different trade altogether. I'm glad we at least wet the beak in Intel, because it didn't get to 38. I had to get 38.07s. This has been a relatively strong name. Just keep in mind, if this sees anywhere near to 39, it's still a short. Intel is a short at 39 until proven otherwise on that daily chart, regardless of what I think of its relative strength. I maybe should have also reversed in Micron. but it's too late. That's too late now.
Okay. Yeah, pretty big reversal there. Of course, if you guys are wondering, we'll have Brendo if there's anything sort of significant about Fed. Was that a call? All right, they're doing, so right now done with the prepared speech. And thanks for that, Ramin. And they are now on to Q&A. Okay, a new position, I'll just hit this, is what I like to do, or like we try to do when we do a new position. It's Meta. I'm going to think that the market holds these lows right now until we cross over the 50 period. I mean, I don't think I'll be in many of these trades if we get back up to VWAP, because if everything starts to break, then we're going to get out of it. So you could start to see right now, we are getting into a few more shorts. Apple came all the way back up, so we initiated again at 90. We'll try to scalp it out again if it comes back into the 80s and 70s again. So initiated a new short position there. Averaged into Meta with our target of 322.30 or so to get out. No new position on Microsoft. Happy with how we got out of that one. We will negotiate that back again. I see you fixing your poppy.
It keeps falling out.
I know. I was looking at mine too, because mine actually fell off already, and I started the show without it off. So my apologies for that, without it on. And then, yeah. So basically, I'm going to try to remain short some of these names. Microsoft, I have a very, very small position. I'm going to let that one go. I'm more looking here at Meta, which is probably wrong. The reason why I liked it was this, it was close to the 200 period moving average, and it was right there dancing around VWAP in the 200. So I thought if there was another move down, this one would give me the dollar clean, but it looks like it wants to go back up. But we're still fine. We're still fine. Apple is the newest reload, though, for something serious. We're under the 50 period and under VWAP. So if we break, there it is. If we break 183, we just took an 80 fill. I got to attend to this, but if we break 183, we're out.
Yeah, so still the same 3 for me, but I'm noticing that Rivian didn't even bounce more than 10 cents. Like that was a legit move off 15.3 on the NASDAQ. This is barely even moving off of that bid. This should it's crazy to say, but this should still be a short if that's all it can do. It is a nice little base, but like scalp it, and if it breaks 15.9, then that can head stronger to the upside. Now we can go to Amazon. Amazon, first dump, 141. That pop, 141. Shorts underneath, 141. If 141 breaks, then, I mean, you can, well, get out, but if you want to go long, fair enough. I'm not thinking long after this, because this market has been resisting doing anything for the last couple of days. Like, we're kind of sitting around here, and now it really looks like a sell. So, like, I'd rather be looking for shorts and scalping longs as an approach this afternoon. It feels different. Maybe I'm wrong about it. Could be wrong. It feels different today in terms of actually breaking bottoms and continuing to go lower instead of that dance that we seem to only ever be doing bottom to top over and over again.
I think that's right. I mean, you're down 0.5%. So this is going to be the first day in 10 that we do have a red, potentially red close. Okay, so we just shorted again at 90. We just printed 77s down there. We just put another bid at 77 to see if we can get it, because that seems to be the very bottom, which is very, very strange. Meta, we took 30 cents there. We got a bid at 30. We're short at 60. But again, we're still hoping for a little bit more, obviously. I just put another bid down at 321. And then I told you where the target would be. It'd be 320.70 or so. So if we can get back into there, then we'd be pretty happy with our trade. So right now, just flat on, well, not flat. This is 30 cents in the money. Microsoft is 75 cents. And then our reloaded Apple position, which doesn't seem to want to, I'm going to put a bid at 8 there. We crossed the market and got out at 82 there. Some more. I am still bidding 77. And then lower, man. I don't have another bid on this name until 60s. So we just take a 77. Now we'll wait until the 60s and take some more if it does get back in there. But we're just holding out on the short. I like it. I think I like it a lot. Intel broke below 38. Is that? No.
Not yet.
Not.
I'm playing little dips. I actually just covered it. It couldn't.
You're long.
It instantly rejected VWAP, so I'm like, get out. Okay. Scalp longs. I don't want to be short unless it's failing this level. The problem with Intel and 38 is if you zoom it out, this 15-minute chart's going to be better for this. If you zoom it out, this is 38. There we go. This is 38. It is breaking 38 and getting to 37.90 and not following through. So until it really breaks down from here, it's hard to like the short in that zone unless you're taking like 10 cents in that range. So it's a very, very tight spread, very tight range once it gets underneath $38. If 37.80 or 37.90, that area goes down, then you can get a real flush on Intel. So I'd rather be scalping that one until it breaks down. Zoom back in. Affirm just held on to. There's a bit of a wall at 25 on Affirm. So when it came in and gave the top end of the range here in the 20s, it could not break 25 even. So take something out in front of 25 even. If the buyers are there, respect the fact that there's some buying on Affirm at that level. Thoughts on TLT, please? It'll be faster for me to just do this instead of pull up my TLT chart. I do have a black chart for TLT, but I always pull it down when it's just easier to pull it up over here. Come on, load. Or maybe it's not easier. Okay, well, I'll just stick with the 3-minute chart. You're in absolute no man's land, which is why I'm thinking I don't want to have anything where I'm forcing the action. I want something breaking a big trend to the downside or to the upside, because you had the big dumpage when we had the bond auction, and since then, you're essentially diddling in the middle. Maybe my 15's loaded now. Okay, so, there we go. I have a bad wick there, and I'm missing some data. But essentially, when I say you're diddling in the middle, you've bounced off the recent support, and I think we're weak, but you've bounced off recent support on treasuries, and the market's bouncing off of 15.3. So I don't want to be married to the notion that the short is going to be an absolute flush city. I want to have some notions of a bid, because as much as we were rolling over, we found a weird bit of stabilization at least when it comes to those rates. I'm sure Frank will have some better things to say after Powell is done in an hour. We're going to have Frank come on, I believe, closer to 3:30, which will be after Powell, which is essentially probably the better time to digest some of what he has said. But I'm not getting a big sense of direction continuing this pushing to the downside. That's where I think we're going, but I'm not 100% convinced of it. That's why I scalp out. I do want to find some long, quick little bounce plays so that I have something on the other side of this. And I want some relative strength to be playing off of. I just wish there was something better than trying to scalp off of the chip names, which are pulling back. Disney might be the right answer, as Sean was saying. But even Disney is showing signs of rolling over. If Disney doesn't hold on to 90, like, what good is it?
Yeah.
Like, it's right at VWAP, and every bounce off VWAP is more and more shallow. So yes, it's a strong name. I don't know if this is the one, even though it's, like, what else is above VWAP right now showing you some strength?
Oh man, yeah, no, nothing. That's the call. Let's just wait to see what happens. I mean, right now we'll just go this, because we're just stacking now. I mean, there's 70 cents in the money right here for Meta. We just took it, so there's the bid there at 60 cents. There's the bid at 321, sorry, and fading. You know, we're short right here at well, you can see what I'm short at, 321.60. So 70 cents now on the bid if you take it right there. So that's going to be a good trade. How's Apple right now? I mean, look at this one. You want to talk about something that's been a money maker today right now. We'll slap the fail on Apple as that continues to go downside right now as well. Off the 50 period, there it is right there. I mean, you know, we try not to make trading too difficult here. The idea is to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and then we react to stories like this.
Just a quick update. The governor of the Bank of Israel is currently speaking, guys, so nothing from Powell currently.
Okay, well, yeah, so maybe, I mean, again, I feel like the more that Powell speaks, the more the market's just going to probably just trend the way it wants to. I mean, he's not speaking right now, but, you know, questions, like the market was heading down. Whether or not it was in anticipation of Powell or not, this really started, I mean, we made that high right there. We marked it, 15.4. And then this is not the intraday high or anything like that. Well, it is the intraday high right now, but it's not the IB high. But anyways, there's the high right there. There was the low. So, you know, you made your move back in, you know, you hit 15.2, you hit 15.4, sorry, came back to 15.2, then absolutely flushed on that bond talk. We were there, you guys were with Adair and Sharif when that happened. Huge move down. That's when I thought I had a $3 winner, went for a walk, came back, realized I got stopped, well, sorry, $8 winner, realized we got stopped on Tesla. Then it came right back to 15.4 again, and then it started to make the move down lower. So I just feel like we want to stay short. The money's really pouring in now, so it's good. Meta's right now just joined it. There's another Dollar Club winner for Meta, and we just put Meta on We just put Meta on 10 minutes ago, and it's $1 in the money at the bottom of the day. So we're just going to hold now because we've taken out our profit. This is really cruising, man. This has been honestly, my best day in a very, very long time. We're absolutely, I'm not red on any name I've shown you guys. I'm not red on anything. And honestly, it's Apple, 1 for 1. It's AMC, 2 for 2. It's AMD, number 1 for me. It's Disney. Well, anyways, I can zoom back out just so you can see these trades. It's Disney long right there. It's Meta. We just put this on. These are all my trades. It's Microsoft. We just put that on. And it's Tesla, which has been a monster. So it's been a really good day. But at the end of it all, you just want to make the right decisions. You could go 7 for 7 and then 7 for 8. And it's that 8 that matters, right? And so stay in your lane, stay confident, pick a direction, and if something changes, have stop orders.
Always, well, you don't have to trade with a stop order. It does help to manage risk. ASTR has a big size on the offer. So I do have a trade off of that, but I might punch it out if it breaks the sky for 300,000. NVIDIA's tanking. I saw someone say NVIDIA's giving it up in a big way. And the first thing I thought of when I saw that move to the downside is I remember the name that was actually up more than NVIDIA, and it was Marvell. So I threw in the chat, Marvell looks good if NVIDIA is rolling over. So it's at VWAP, it's breaking VWAP. Any one of these things that's breaking VWAP to the downside, it's not the be-all, end-all, but sometimes it is a trend reversal. So I jumped into that one. I wanted to get more in the 70s, maybe even in the high 60s, but didn't get anything. So as it gets down to the local bottom, take some out, and then hold for, I don't know where it would end up, but this is yet another chip name which was having a monster day. Good looking, maybe trend reversal for Marvell. They don't report until NVIDIA reports, either the same day or the day after. It's one of the two, November 21st or 22nd. But they are starting to roll over, so I jumped in that. And that's because I saw those in the chat mentioning NVIDIA's weakness in the moment. So I jumped into a name that I thought was going to be good. We got Amazon. Still in the pocket. Okay, this wick didn't happen. It would be nice if it had just printed 139, but that's just a dark pool fill. But I did get out here 140 half, and we'll see if it breaks the low of the day. The actual low here on Amazon is 140.40, not this wick down here. So it'll be breaking the low in about 10 cents, which at this point seems inevitable, like Thanos. We are fleshing. Flesh City. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it feels very, very different today because the strength that was in these chips, the strength that was in a lot of the crypto to reverse it and be taking out lows, a very, very different move. And do not forget this. Cannot say this enough. Let me pull up, where's my cues, sort by symbol. On the daily chart, if this will load, I should have done trade ideas because it'll be actually faster. Boom, thank you, trade ideas. This is the lower highs on the Qs. The trend line was broken, but we did not break this October 12 high. We rejected that lower high on the Qs, and now we are rejecting the trend line if we take this out. So that is a monster level on the daily. I mean, on the weekly, you're rejecting the trend if we close underneath there. There's a lot of things happening why a pullback feels a little bit different. It's been an unbelievable rally, clearly, but you are running into major resistance. Silver lining, just to throw a silver lining out there for everybody, because it's always nice to be able to do that when the market's going down. You could always put in a higher low on the 50 period on the daily. Like you could pull back, get to the 60s, and catch a bit of a bid, and that would still be pretty bullish. But it does feel a little bit of a different of a pullback, and it's because I think we're at such a key level on the future.
Oh man, yeah, I think that's right. Oh my God, Marissa just said Baxter's doing equity research reports, and JFC, he never stops talking. So yeah, that would make sense for my kid for sure. All right, yeah, you know what JFC stands for?
I'm not good with this. Look,
you know,
man, I'm old.
Just.
Oh, okay. Just
yeah.
for.
You could probably Google it. I mean, it's not. Anyway.
I'm old, man.
Yeah, it's okay. So am I. But my wife used the terminology there. Anyways, yeah, it has to do with Jesus Cristo.
Look,
okay.
I can't. Once I realized what it was, I can't say it.
Okay. Oh, you did realize it.
No, but I'm not saying it out
No,
loud.
no.
I wasn't going to say that.
No. I'm
okay?
not trying to set you up.
not
I just
gonna
didn't know
say-
if you
yeah.
realized what it was. That's all. Okay, so anyways, just so in case you guys were wondering, and we're ringing the register, man. We are almost now out. Meta, look at this out. I put my bid at 320. Like, honestly, that was a pretty easy bid. And you're going to find levels like that. Neil and I talked about Coinbase and that $100 level. Like, 320 was just like, just an even dollar level. Nothing to do with anything. Like, even when you zoom back out, I mean, it has a little bit of something to do with it. I mean, the bottom today was 319.50. So, I mean, whether or not you make that bottom or not, I mean, I guess you take 50 cents better than that. But that's just an example right there where you got to start to cover somewhere. So that's a spot. The one name that I was a little disappointed about, and I'm like I said, I'm not disappointed about anything. Maybe I'm disappointed that we got it at Disney for $1 when it went $3 or whatever. But Apple's not going down as much as the rest of the market. So that's good, as I see my guy Sharif right here. But we're going to go 7 for 7 and just wait to see what happens with Apple. We just covered some at 182.40. Hopefully my best out is 33s down there. Now you're starting to give it up just a little bit, but the whole market's going Downsville right now. Apple, nice move. Meta trying to test that 320 again, so that's good. Tesla still $1.50 in the money and trying to break that day's low there again. I am done covering. If I start to cover one more time, go get me that Cookie Monster suit because I'll put it on. Brendan, did we get rid of those? Have you seen those around?
I think they went into storage or something.
That's what I thought too, because we were going to make a bet on the midday show, and then Sharif said that he would wear that Sesame Big Bird because he's wearing the yellow, so everybody was like,
Minions?
and then they were going to make a bet. Yeah, the Minions comment, exactly. And then I said, well, we still have that Big Bird costume, because why would we throw it out? But maybe we did, and then
That probably got very sweaty. Did that get washed?
That might be the thing, but so I don't know. Anyways, if we find that would be
I don't know
fun.
if I'd want to wear that. I mean,
So market continues to go down. End of the day.
I'm just saying I don't know if I want to wear that.
No, not us. No, Sharif was going to wear that. I
I
wore it.
Yeah, I know, but they
Oh,
wore
when I
it.
said I'd wear the Cookie Monster? Yeah.
But that got Sharif and Luca wore those.
We had the video. Do you still have
for
that
half
video?
of the day, and I don't think they got washed after. Like, it gets
That little
really
clip
hot
you
in
showed.
those suits, and it gets hot sometimes with those lights. Just a couple of things. If you saw me in and out that silly ASTR, there was a size order that I was shorting in front of. It broke, and so I punched out. But then, okay, so like these levels in here where I was shorting spikes, it basically got in there, so I jumped in front of 34s. The second I saw an offer at 35, it's basically just scalping off of these levels. So that's also happening. I just want to make sure you're going to see me in and out of that stock probably a half a dozen times before the end of the day. It's only 245. So Amazon is still flushing to the downside. That's going. I took some Marvell out, and that continues to go down. I don't think we'll get the other fill. I have a trailing stop on not Fisker. Fisker. I keep thinking that I'm in Lucid when I'm in Fisker because Lucid was the one I was trading yesterday, and they're both $4. Basically the same price now. I have a trailing stop on this, and if it breaks the low, I think we can get into the 50s, but I don't have a bid down there. I almost feel if I'm going to trail it out to 75s, I should just get back in at 74, risk 1.5 cents, maybe 2 cents on the re-entry, and then I'm holding more shares. Because if I think that's an inflection point anyways, I might as well take advantage of any potential curl off of that level. Something Max always says, and I'm like, I really like that. It's if you like the continuation enough to hold it, the other question you should ask yourself is, well, then do I like an entry off that same stop? And putting a trailing stop order in is essentially saying, I'm wrong if this level breaks. So if you believe in that trend, then you should at least ask yourself the question, do I also want to join it back in right here instead of just trail out of what I have? So answer yes, and the good thing about trading this is you're only risking 1 or 2 cents off of every single level if you use a stop order on something like a Fisker. It's very easy to be able to see that. There was something else I wanted to get to. Oh yeah, Intel. I was long at 2s and it broke evens. So that it's hard to see, but that's long here, and then it broke. I got out at 99. I think it puts in a test now of that 37.80 level, which has been a bit of a it's been rejecting that pretty heavily for the last week or so. So it gets down there and a huge rejection. Now that it's under 38, that's the next level down. I almost think you could play some shorts. As I say that, I don't have a trailing stop on Amazon. I just have a reentry. If this gets to 140 even, I think I get out of this. I feel like Marvell has so much more room to fall relative to Amazon. Like Amazon's already punked, and I actually like the 140 level. Like I like the 140 level. We just broke that out on, was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. We broke out 140, and then 140 was a bit of resistance on Monday. So I think you could catch a bid off of 140 on Amazon.
All right, I'm doing this very, very similar thought to Neil over here, and that was trying to think about, spots to cover, because honestly, it's been such a good run right there, back down into the downside. I mean, it looks like the NASDAQ only being down 0.7. I mean, we could still go a heck of a lot more than that. But again, Meta, like we just bottomed out at 319.50. Like that's still like 250, whatever in the money there. It's too much. It's not too much, but it's a big move down. And I'm just thinking like, where do we trail this? But let me show you what happened to me. I was trying to crowdsource trails in Tesla on Twitter. I was going to say on X.
It is X.
It is X, yes. Yeah, I keep saying that. I said that on the show the other day, right there. So this is what we were doing, and I just want to show it because we did have some responses from some people here. It was like, I did not expect this move on Tesla, $5 in the money. Where are we covering? There's a good one. Robert, shout out to you, man. 208.11. That was almost like, I don't know if you're here, but that was almost dead on. So bang on that one, 208. We can have a quick look at that one.
Why do you say 208? I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't.
Whenever somebody
like
gets
this,
something that right, I'm always curious. Did you come up? Did you just say it, or did you have, or did you have a rationale for
bottom's
it?
207, but that 208 has been where it's been stopping.
No, it's wick bottoms though.
Yeah, exactly. So failed at 215. So wait for that flag. You're right about that one. Gap filled down to 201. That wasn't today, but thank you to Mastro for that. Air Jordans. I'm wearing the Air Force Ones today. Where's the demand for Tesla? Do I think it's? That's what I'm trying to ask everybody. But anyways, thank you for all the help on that one. And then you could see, and this is what I want to talk about just real quick, and then we'll figure out what we're going to be doing here. Oh, there's AMC. What's up, AMC? But it's just Tesla. So it was down here. It was at 208.80. And then that's when I used, and I'll just zoom in, I just used the spot that I thought was a popular one that I've been using for a long time. And I think that's important that you do that. That's the 50-period moving average on the 1-minute chart. And there, I just use SMAs. I think Neil uses SMAs, I think, as well.
Simples.
For your simples, yeah, SMAs. For no matter what kind of moving averages, I think we're always using simple, whether or not it be on the daily or anything like that. But anyways, there's the cover. And then it went back up, and I was like, okay, well, that cover wasn't that great. We went for our walk. We came back, and Sharif was like, oh, man, you're huge in the money. And I'm like, womp, womp. We weren't. And then I was just trying to use that area again as cover to go short. And then that's where now we only have, well, that was a bunch of in and out. It's kind of a flat trade. And then we put on a more serious one when we broke through 210 there. So we only have one cover at 208.50 for $1.50. So I'm now thinking this 207 area is a cover for Tesla. So I'm going to put that on right now instead of using trailing stops. I like trailing stops, and we've been using them just like that's an example. But at the same time, you do have to take bottoms. And if you don't do that, then you're not going to have trades. Even if it keeps going, like that 220, you're going to look back and say, why didn't I take something out there? So whoopsies, I didn't mean to do that. But we're going to wait for Meta. Here we go. For Tesla to get to that 207 area. So we're going to put that in right now. 207, let's get real specific. 207.25, okay? $1 lower from here. We'll see about getting out on Tesla.
Never put quarters out.
That's what I'm going to do, though.
Oh, no.
I'll put like a 28. Not exactly at the quarter. Oh, okay, I can take it. What Neil was saying there, let me just come over here just for an example. I like to trade around the court. Like this short here on 210 is not exactly at 210, right? You can see the position I have right now on Tesla, 209.72. So it's like you don't necessarily always want to be at the most obvious levels. And I'll just show you one more example. And it was right here. This is at 320.02. So I know it's close enough to 320, but sometimes there'll be a big order there. We'll come down, it'll stop, and then bounce back up. So those are some things there. I don't know if that's probably what you meant. So what's the matter? Is the chart closed? Then you're screwed, yeah.
Sorry for this, guys. I just had a The chart doesn't. The day is so bad for the markets that the chart just gave up on me here. So I did just punch out of. Let me go to my 15 maybe. There you go. See, the 15-minute chart is the most reliable thing here. So we bounced off that 140 level. It got to about 140 and a quarter, so I punched out of Amazon. That's all I wanted to get to, and then I was going to go over Disney as well because it's bouncing off that 90 area, but it really got all the way down into 89.50, which was a good support level this morning. So I feel like we're rounding into some support, at least on some strong names. This is the first time it's looked remotely decent on the 15 minutes for a bounce on Disney. I'm kind of hoping by now the 3 is loaded. There you go. You just got to give it a minute when it restarts. So we're trying to reclaim VWAP here on Disney. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Still a strong name. Like I feel as if, and you know what about Disney? This is a legit breakout off a consolidation bottom. This has all the reason in the world why after the destruction that it's been on, you could take out this 200 period moving average and then be off to the races. That's at 92. So as long as it's above 86, I like longs until you get to 92. If you bust out there, next step up is 95 on the daily chart. So I like Disney. Going to be favoring some longs here as long as they're not in sundial, Steve G. No. We never go long sundial. Actually, that's not true. We take sundial when it breaks $1 and never again. Where's the paper hands graphic?
Oh, we did have that.
That
was one of the best stories of all time when Tony came on and said that he was diagnosed with paper hands.
I could have stolen the joke.
That was the
It's
best.
fine. Tony it was amazing because I think it was Unity or something.
No, it wasn't even in reference to a trade, I don't think. I think
okay.
He was telling a random story. Like, he had thought about a story, and it was really funny.
It was great.
And he led up to it, and he's like, yo, I had a physical the other day, and I went in there, and everything was all good. And then I was talking about my trading with the doctor and everything, and then he told me to hold out my hands and diagnosed me with paper hands. I mean, he had a way better delivery, but it was hilarious, and that was so funny. And Tony right now just went back down south. So if anybody's wondering,
we love Tony.
He used to host as well, and he was an intern here, so he was never permanent. But
Everybody here loves Tony. Shout out Ryan. See, a lot of people using Fibonacci's. Fibonacci's I find interesting when you're just looking for confluence on taking profits when there's no ranges to be had. Like when there is nothing on the chart to show you where levels can be. Okay, this is not going to load up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can see the point here. I had a strategy. We got lower highs. We were short at the top on Rivian, but I paper hands it. I don't think it's paper hands because I really followed my rules. The issue to me is never when I get trailed out, when I think liquidity grabbed under the previous low and didn't want it breaking out. I think the issue was where the stop placement was more than anything else. It looks like it didn't even break that local high, so that is probably very bad stop placement, but you can always get back in here. See what I mean? Like this is, like that consolidation breakdown at about 16.5 is a good reentry. Now it's not fair to say, well, you got out of one and got into another. It's not, you can trade them both. Like they were both entries that I could have had, right? So you can do one of two things. You can trade everything. You can stick to what is, like Sean did with Tesla, or you can find and do both. A lot of times there's no wrong answer to it, but I'm slapping a fail on not getting back into Rivian, even if I was in Fisker. And I should have been in Lucid as well. I actually think all three of these should have been, and this missing data too, but like when it failed $4, like that was an easy short as well. All of them set up. You can have it all and then just continue to win. Oh my God, Amazon.
Meta is collapsing. Everything's collapsing.
Yeah, 140 just went. I just
mark.
got. See, this chart doesn't care either. Okay, please work, Marvell.
I see you have Elon mode charts on.
I know. So some are good, some aren't. I'm canceling my bid on Marvell and asking myself where I should be getting back into more. Rivian is not yet down 10%, but it's a matter of time.
All right, we're really really enjoying this afternoon. I hope you guys are as well. And on that note, make sure you do this because
Hola. Like and subscribe today.
I mean, you know, if you enjoy our company, you like the banter, you like the trades, you like the ideas, you like us attending you guys on the charts, on the chat, everything like that. I mean, look at this meta short right here. 321.50, guys. We're $3 in the money pretty much on that one. We're $2 in the money on this Tesla. I put that bid there, but now I'm thinking like maybe we'll cancel it. It's the problem. Trader's dilemma, but we already have the short as well on that one. Microsoft, $1.63 in the money. And again, Trader's dilemma, do you get out at the support or do you wait for another break lower on that one? And then Apple, I mean, clear as day, reloaded this there for, this was at 2 o'clock. This was at 2:30. So, I mean, a couple easy positions there for us on Apple. And of course, you know, we're scalping here. So that's why you're going to see, you know, all of these outs. And that's the one thing. I mean, I still think that everybody should stay. Obviously, I think we all would think this, but stay true to the style that's, you know, got you here, first of all. But second of all, there's always room for improvement. So that's where I always try to be able to hold a little bit more. And that's why you're going to see me sitting here. And even right now, what I'm talking to you about when I say trader's dilemma, it's like working through my own thing here, because I always go back and forth. Should I just take that out or not? And then it goes back up 30 cents, then I put a bid and then I get out and then it crashes. But anyways, there's always those kind of trades that you're going to, you know, look back on. And I think that's why it is important that you journal and do things like that. And, you know, that's why.
At least review.
Review. And I wanted to shout out Branko's in the back there, because these guys every day are going in, and you can see traders behind us. It's a pretty full floor right now, 20 or so, I believe, 15 to 20.
They got some fresh meat back there.
Yeah. Is that what this is called? But I was just going to say that they just had, I think it was a 45-minute sort of strategy discussion session, blah, 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 like that. And I think that that's really important. That's the benefit of being on a prop floor. And that's the kind of environment that we're trying to bring to you guys here right now by showing many different talents on this. I mean, you've seen Max, we just shouted out Yanni in the back there, Yannick.
Obi's back there as well.
Obi's there chilling out there right now. And anyways, many different styles. And then you're seeing Adara, and you're going to see, actually, we've already talked about this, the new show format basically for the midday, because of how Adara is adapting and enjoying trading. You know, that's part of it too, right? If you don't enjoy trading, you're never probably going to be successful at it. But the new midday format's going to be more of an educational thing, where you got the professor. That's why he was wearing the glasses today, you know what I mean? And he's going to be answering questions that Adara may have, or different lessons as you go. So that's going to not only help.
We should call him Kevin.
Kevin, what's that? Oh, from the.
Because that's the minion.
Yeah, the minions. Yeah, poor guy, man. Our guy Sharif over there. But yeah, he caught a little bit of slack for that yellow. And it's funny because I was wearing my yellow jogging pants yesterday at my daughter's practice, and one of the moms came up to me and was like, "Look, my husband's ridiculous as well," and showed me these stupid yellow pants that he had on. So.
What's wrong with it's just jogging pants, man?
I know nothing. It's just like yellow pants, kind of like.
I dress like a little bit of a bum when I'm at my daughter's gymnastics and stuff. It's like I get home and you want to get into some comfortable clothes. I'm like, I'm not wearing my work clothes when I'm taking my daughter to sports.
No.
So like, don't expect me to look good. It just, you're there to support and you're there to be comfortable. So I'm with you on that one. I'm not even remotely trying for those. I'm just gonna make one point here, because I've said this a few times, and I don't think I will be, if it gets late in the day, I'm not shorting a move into Astra. If at 320, 330, like a little bit later, this pops and makes a run at these local highs where it's been rejecting, I don't think I would want to short that. Right at the end, you get a little bit less liquidity on these kind of things. And if it makes a run at the deal price, that's $1.50. And it's generally been a good short, like in the high 30s, and it'll pull back into VWAP. I think that goes out the window in the final 30 minutes. I just want to put that out there, because you are seeing me do it, even if it's not the normal style of trade, and it's not something that I would do to short that level late in the day. I think you can get really burned because you don't have that time for it to come back in and normalize, which could not happen. So that's still, so Marvell's still heading down. I know it's cheeky, but I still feel as if the accumulation, until proven otherwise, the accumulation buyer on Intel, I think can be there. I really wish I didn't have a reason to be short here, but when you zoom out, there is one, and then I didn't have a reason in my head because I didn't look at the 15-minute chart enough there. But this 3780 level, if we bust through it, it's a bit of a flat bottom break and a lower high, but one last chance. It's coming into this now. If I risk anything, it should be 3 or 4 cents off a level like that. Jubilee John, first time I've seen you in the chat. welcome. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Please take a look at Takeda Pharmaceutical. Oh, see, I always feel like a lot of times we'll look at these names, and generally speaking, like now this chart's not going to load. Let me just go to my trade ideas. The biggest answer I can always tell you, if you're asking about these random symbols, and this is not to throw shade at anybody, when you're trading, you want there to be action, right? Like that's rule number one. So you want there to be something happening on the intraday. So your intraday chart, and you're not really seeing any of that. However, when you look at something like this, why does that go yellow? Because I kind of pulled it up when you asked the question. When you get to levels like this, I'm not sure why that's all yellow, but 12, it's about 12.50. And again, I don't really know what's going on with this stock, but these types of levels are actionable, and I don't care what the symbol is. If there's any volume down here when you get to monstrous levels on the weekly, and this is the pandemic bottom, so anything that double bottoms at the pandemic gets there thrice, I think it's worthy of a trade. Now, ideally, when it's a weekly chart that has this kind of a bounce, like that is a weekly candle, you generally want to see bounce and then participate. It's more of a swing thing. Based on the amount that I see this thing move, I don't think it's remotely a day trade. I think if it gets down to $12, you look for some kind of a swing. It's a little stair-step down, but look at the way that it's trading. Unless I have a firm reason to want to be in this and taking 10 cents, like it's a $4 stock, like a Lucid or a Fisker, I wouldn't touch it. But if it gets to 12 even, suddenly those scalp bounces are not 10 cents. Then it's 40, 50 cents or $1, and it becomes a heck of a lot more enticing. So I think you wait very patiently and look for your more swing entries there. Here's 53. If it breaks on Marvell, I'm trailing it through this level. And Intel 3780 is there right now.
Oh, we got filled. Yeah, good. There it is.
Awesome.
I didn't even realize this went down. I was looking at something that Adair had sent me about big cap techs, but wow. All right, end of the trade right there, man. That was a fun move. I wanted to take out Tesla just because this is going to sound a little bit counterintuitive, a little bit. I feel like anyways, I wanted to take this name out because it was actually down the most, like it's down 7% there for Tesla. So normally it's like, okay, you want to hold on to the weak names. But I was just thinking that if anything has juice to go back, well, there it is. If anything has juice to go back to the upside, it might be beat down names like this. So, wow, Apple, as if that's dirty. I was waiting at 182.13. The bottom is 182.13 there for Apple. And I was going to go over to Apple and say I'm taking some out at 182, and we just never got that fill. Oh, man, that's a little bit frustrating, but you got to take stock out, right, when it goes down. Meta went all the way down to 318.80 right there, and we didn't take that because why would I have a bid there, right? So we did take that out. Well, maybe that's why. It was the pre-market bottom, Sean. So maybe I should add a bid there at 319. But either way, I'm pretty happy with the way the trading is looking right now. And let's just continue to see where these markets go. But I just wanted to say we did get out of Tesla right there. My number one stock is still AMD, which is kind of embarrassing why we got stopped out right there, because look where we are here at 113. But that is also another area where you could buy this name. So watch out for 113 dip buy opportunities as well in AMD. But I'm looking to get this Apple trade, and honestly, I'm at 13s. I'm gonna cancel this and just punch out at 15. Did we get it? Yes, we did. Okay, right there, spit it. All right, so that's a good trade there. That's 75 cents. That's the bottom. Of course, we would have got 13s, but that's what I said. Sometimes you're going to make those calls. So there it goes, Apple to the downside. Let's see. We're $2 in the money, Microsoft, 2 Meta, 1 Apple. You've got the short Fisker, the short Marvell. So I feel like we are long Intel, but we know why.
I'm already taking it out.
Yeah, see, so.
It just, like, Intel bounced off 80. It went to 91, and then it's right back down. So, I got the 90 fill and was like, that's all it's going to give you is 10 cents. But it's stair-stepping down. I think when it's doing this, it's weird. Like, if you like the long, it's just easier to short the pops. Like you make more, even if you make money doing this, like you make more short here and then short here than you do going long win, long lose, long win, right? Like I know it's obvious, but sometimes when you're doing the other thing, you should say it out loud because at least that way I'll listen to myself saying that. Someone just asked me if I thought Micron is a short here. Probably, but not really. I got out when 74.2 held, it's a little tricky. Like 74 just broke, so yes, 74 was a good level. I wanted out in front of it when it bounced. It did bounce. I didn't reload. I did that thing where I liked something else better. Like in that moment, I liked Marvell at VWAP, which was giving me the same trade. I thought that so first of all, Micron was strong off 75. The reason I was even looking at this stock is because it was a bounce off 75, so when it broke, I wanted to short. That's the reason in. But once it bounced here, I just wanted the same trade that just worked before, which is the VWAP setup underneath. So it's just, and it's kind of like to each your own, and this just wicked 53, so yeah. I was gonna move my trail, but I don't have to, I can just punch out. So it's the same trade, the big chip name, failing support at VWAP, short the curl underneath, and then take the first move down into the evens, so I'm now out of both of them, and I'm not gonna reload any more Intel longs. And just like forget about it. Let's actually look for Intel to break down as well. And then if anything else sets up with that VWAP trade, which by the way, Intel did as look at that. Same trade. I went long on this dip, but the same trade on Micron breaks VWAP. You just short the curl and the failure here. You short there. That's the same thing you just saw on Micron. You just saw it on Marvell. Intel did it, and you could have had 3 shorts. I was going long because of a higher time frame level, but it's still better if you short that time after time. I saw DraftKings in there. I totally forgot DKNG was breaking down too.
Everything is
not yeah, but not that
very
big.
Good day today.
Yeah, DraftKings is actually not accelerating to the downside yet. It's sliding. Oh yeah, 34 was the big level on DraftKings. Never mind, it wasn't 35. 34 is the big level on the way back in for DraftKings. In my head, for some reason, I thought it was 35, and I'm wondering why is this not falling like a rock when it breaks 35? I think that's why. But here comes that 37.8 on Intel. I think you can get nasty if it does break it. We do have, I think in about 20 minutes or so,
that's right.
we're going to have Frank. Obviously, this market hasn't liked what it's got, and you saw what happened to treasuries. You've seen what's happened to the NASDAQ, down almost a full % now. It's not getting any better. It looks like the turn is legit here today.
Frank the Tank Caberna. I'm going to go with that as his name. I don't know. All right, he's going to be coming out very, very soon, and it's going to be interesting to talk to him. But I do want to say a big thank you to Austin. Austin, thank you so much. He's been a member now for 24 months, so that's great. So 2 years. So thank you so much for continuing to support us here. It's $5 a month to become a member. You get little cool icons beside your name and all this kind of fun stuff. I believe, anyways. I don't know if those are gone now. But anyways, thank you so much. Sean, Katina, and Neil Roberts are both my favorite trading teachers. Still learning from you, and you're up 60 points in 2 years. Great job on that one. So keep up the good work,
really good.
and I hope that you you keep on supporting the show. So that's good. Will Tesla close below $200 today? Nah, not a good enough poll, Steve G. I think we could think of some polls, but not that one. Tesla's not.
Tesla SSR? No.
Well, that's a little better, but I mean, below $2.
No, that's
I mean, I just covered this thing right there at 207.30. Another $8 downside. I just don't.
No chance.
I don't think that's this.
It's not going to 200.
Nah, let's do a reasonable. Let's do something that can actually hit. So if somebody has an idea, we'll put it on there. I mean, NASDAQ greater or less than 1%. I mean, that could be something. If anybody has any ideas, we'll definitely, we won't, not only will consider them, we'll just do them. So let us know what you guys think, and we'll put it out.
If you're thinking the market to a certain degree is decelerating its move to the downside, for lack of a better term, Apple's down only 0.4%. And if you look at where Apple is, this is yesterday's support levels just underneath 182. Tuesday's close was just underneath 182. So you clearly have a support level here for Apple at that 182 level. Sorry about the chart, guys. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Like I said, my 15-minute is like rock solid. My 3-minute, not so much. And then the same thing happening in Microsoft, right? Like Microsoft is breaking down, but it's holding on for dear life at 361, which was afternoon support, which was for the last couple of days. And then it was right around, a little bit underneath that comes that Tuesday close price. So I'm going to watch out for that. If either of those two break down, I mean, get the brown pants out or whatever it is that you do. And I say, ish your pants, because the market's going to head down when these two join the party. They're both stronger than the overall market, and they're just barely able to hold up. So I'd be a little bit scared If anyone's going long, I don't really know if there's anyone that's looking for longs anyways. But if you are, I'd watch out for those two. Here's another 10% downer. We forgot about Carvana today. Wow, yeah, Carvana. How's that for rejecting the exact same top as yesterday and then giving you a flat bottom break at 33 if you like it? Oh, and it broke 31. You could have even taken a 31 breakdown. The gap is not filled yet in Carvana because the 31 break has 10% to the next gap. Not saying it's going to $27 today, but there's always tomorrow.
What is this?
I'm literally putting that on my iPad right now.
What was it? What was it? Sorry.
If Carvana is underneath 37, look short to 27. I won't actually write all that out. I just have to write 31 and 27, and I know what I mean.
Okay, I'll reach out. Danielle Shea sending me somebody maybe for the after show. Not today, but another time, so I'm just saying that. And I will check out.
Who's today?
Nobody today, actually. I'm not going to have anybody on. We have a lot of earnings. We can go through the earnings at some point. I have a couple charts I want to talk about. I want to discuss, obviously, the way that we traded today and how some of these have played out and so on and so forth. So join me today. We have lots to talk about. Disney earnings and so on and so forth. Will Tesla close above or below 208? That's a little bit of a better call right there for the poll. All right, Disney, again, like, we had this one on the sticky note. We knew we wanted the long, but when in doubt, play the VWAP retracement. So that's one of the things here for earnings plays. We got to try to remember this. And I was going to comment on Neil writing down a note there because I think that that's something, again, we talked about journaling and things like that. There's so many things to do. Like, I come in the morning and I'm like overwhelmed writing the sticky note because I know that it's something that I want to focus on all day, but there's always going to be names that you miss. And then you get that little feeling of like, uh-oh, I'm missing something. So you definitely want to write it down to make sure it's all good. But Disney right there, I thought there was going to be a pullback, and there hasn't been today. So this is what my Disney trade looked like. Nice little pullback there to 89.50. We have two longs in there. We bought them on VWAP on the 50 period, scalped it all out basically into sort of that first move high there of 89.90, 89. So those are 50 cents worth of a win. And then our best out is the dollar club. So that's it. Like, we didn't have anything else. We took it out there, and then it just continued to move higher. It got as high as 91.20 there, now fading. I actually really like this long, but I'd like to get it more back into where VWAP is, so we're not too far away from a $90 spot there. So if we can get 90, I think that's something that we could look out for on Disney. So let's just do exactly that and look out for that level on Disney if it does come in. So you were just mentioning, Neil, about maybe a long somewhere.
It looks good.
I feel like Disney would be a good one there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and then other than that, I don't have too many more ideas.
What else is strong besides Disney right now?
There has to be something. You know what we can look at? Let's look at Roblox, because Roblox has been a strong name, right?
No way.
I don't know about today, but just recently. Like, it's only down 0.3, but there it is. It's breaking higher.
Okay.
It's trying to go well off the bottoms. About
bad guess.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad guess. That's 38.30, so we still have a ways to go, but it's breaking view up. At least this is something that's starting to go back up. This might be a fade right there off that wick top, by the way. $38.
My quote board.
I'm going to short this.
A firm 14%, that's breaking back down underneath VWAP. Disney up 7%, that's strong. UVXY, obviously inverse to what we're looking at for trading. Coinbase broke down, so who cares? Marvell's next, literally just got out of that short. Micron, again, just got out of that short. BTCC, that's the Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin ETF here in Canada, essentially. And then Uber, 1%, doesn't look all that enticing. So again, that's just my watch list. So when I say only Disney looks strong, the names that I'm looking at, it's the one. And it's back above VWAP. The other one that was, we haven't talked about this in a while, but I just saw that it's up 1%. And it's starting to pull, like, Boeing is back almost to 190. Cross fingers, no? No? Okay, that's how it's going to be. 15-minute, do it for me. Serenity now. There we go. So Boeing almost back into the 190. This is a good support level for Boeing. I like the way that it's gotten here. No, you're still not going to work? Okay. Well, trade ideas, thank you very much. So Boeing, and this is probably another name that you'll hear me talk about tomorrow morning because of the setup. This is the 190 previous high. It's trying to consolidate here. So yes, big pullback off of around the 200 level. You're also looking at the 50-period moving average that it's rejecting here today. So that's a bit bearish, obviously. But if you look at the bounce this is on, it's still a consolidation higher. And if you reclaim the 50 period and next leg up, take out the 200, this gets super, super bullish on a 200 break. It has short-term 190 support on it. So those are two levels that you can trade off of. Obviously, you know, $10 range gives you two actionable levels on an intraday chart. For Boeing, I think you come into that tomorrow. And if this thing takes out 200, who wouldn't look at a breakout like that on Boeing? So that's the kind of thing that I would put on my list for names. And I just note that on a day where the market's down, like it's still up, mostly because of strength in the morning, but it's holding that support well above the 190 level. Even 192 could come in for me tomorrow. Something else I wanted to look at. I said I wouldn't trade it again, and it ended up being maybe the wrong decision because, you know, whatever it is, at $37.80, there's a little bit of, there's like an inkling of support on Intel. So when this level breaks, I want to be thinking short. If this level breaks, I want to be thinking short. It doesn't have to break, but if it does, then I want to be looking for the short. We have 15 minutes until we get the early look on the imbalances. Even if we have Frank, we'll still put it in the chat for you guys if and when we get that. But I'm looking for places to reload this. Steve G, you're right. Caterpillar looks very, very similar to Boeing. I'm actually on the bid. I have a stink bid to add to Caterpillar in my personal account. I kind of like what I see. I think Boeing is more of a get off the schneid, whereas Caterpillar is having a reasonable pullback from highs, whereas Boeing is, I'd say it's been weaker of the two in some ways, but maybe the chart looks very similar.
Yeah, I'm about to get probably stopped out here on a very, very quick trade for Roblox. Again, it's funny because I was like, oh, maybe Roblox is strong. And then I went over there and shorted it, so that was bad. I was like, oh, yeah, it's strong. But again, I looked at this and just thought that we were at VWAP. If the market does turn around, which it's kind of bouncing back down to the downside, so this is not going to work. So my out, pretty easy. We're short Roblox right now at 97s. My out is going to be a break of 10. So if it gets too much higher than that, then we are going to be out of Roblox and then just call it a day as we're going to average in one more time right now. We just did at 07. So average price right now on Roblox is 01, a break higher than this recent high right there, and we're gone. What's up, Brendan?
Just quickly, guys, this event is still going on. Just to give you an update, they have gotten to the portion where they're going to now open the floor up to the audience. So it's not even reporters, it's not even, you know, other members of the Fed or anything like that. It's actually just the general public.
Yeah, I actually kind of thought that
Okay.
they were done. So there's a question here. Thomas Johnson in the chat. Actually, I feel like I had a friend in junior high who's
I hear Adara. I think Adara's live
Guys,
in the chat right now.
it's not your fault. It's okay.
Nice one, Adara.
No, it's all good. We're live, man. Thomas Johnson was asking to look at SoFi on a 15-minute chart. I see a similar uptrend when you look left. So here, uptrend on SoFi. This is the daily chart on SoFi, so that's what I see on the daily chart on SoFi, which is fine. You mean downtrend? No, just the question said, I see a similar trend up when you look left on SoFi. I'm a little curious. Maybe,
look left. Maybe it's because it's been tanking so hard. Is that what it means?
No, okay, like, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. Maybe I'm just not understanding the question. I can be an idiot sometimes. I see a bottom. What I see on SoFi is channel down. Like here is your lower high since it made this rejection. There's your lower highs here, and there's your lower lows. Bouncing off that trend line's about at 650, which is essentially where it bounced today. I don't know about that support level. That's actually 65s. Yeah, so it's bouncing off of what looks like a bit of a trend line on the daily chart. And it's still kind of channeled down here. So I'm not really seeing any kind of an upward trend. You might just mean the bounce here is giving you, obviously 4 red candles, green candles in a row off that 650 level. I should have been long 650s. Why not? You look at that on the daily, and things like this are go for the buy. If you get a chance at any kind of strength off a level like that, go for the buy, go for the sell up here. I feel exactly the same way about Intel. Maybe it's just going to go from 39 and actually go all the way back into 32, and you're just picking it back up on these bottoms. But once this Intel bounces, I'm looking long till resistance, and when it breaks resistance at 37, I look long till 39. And now that it's close enough to the top, I think you can start at least considering those shorts. But this market, little bit of sickness in there. I was just back into Micron and got wicked out.
Yeah, I got taken out of Roblox, but I do like it. I'm going to give it a little
Chasing
bit.
shorts down here. It's kind of...
Yeah, it's a little bit silly to chase these. I agree, but I'm going to try it one more time on Roblox. It's my first red name, so we just put on our very first red trade of the day right now. We went short on Roblox. It broke. We lost 10 cents. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It's still. I'm going to try it one more time. I just don't want to get wicked out there. We got stopped out. Fine. It took the level 100%. Stopped out. And then it retraced back down to 04 right there all after that. So I feel like there could be still some sell pressure, but it's definitely holding out high right here. So we're short at 08, so nothing to write home about. Let's see what happens with Roblox. At this point, our new out is through a break of 20. I really want to see it go. Let's not just take the high and then us punch out immediately. So let's wait to see. We could take another 12-cent hit on this. Again, it's our only red stock. All right, here comes Disney 90. I just saw in the chat. Thanks to whomever that was. Reliable Rudy. Hey, what's up, Reliable Rudy? Okay, well, we just put on Roblox, hoping this market goes to the downside right now. Do we still like this Disney 90? I don't have it on. It just bounced off 02s. Now it's right back there again.
It just failed VWAP, though.
I don't know. I know I said I liked it, but I don't like longs today. So
It's hard to like
I tried to find one with Roblox, and I immediately switched my opinion and went short, and then lost on it. So, hey, that's a bad trade. So we're going to have to wait to see now. I'm going to try to see, here's another New York number calling me right now. And I know it's not Jerome, because I know that he's still on the thing there.
Maybe it's Mendel.
Maybe it's Mendel telling me, what the hell am I doing? Trading
Jeff.
stupid pink sheets. Okay, so, yeah, but no, anyways, all good. Thanks, Reliable Rudy. I'm going to hold off on buying Diz down there. It's a positive stock for us today. It's a big name. There it goes. So it does break. So I'm going to hold off and just hope for downside pressure to remain in the market. We've taken out our Tesla. That was a good out right there, I feel like, anyways. Microsoft, we're still holding on to it as that's trying to go lower. Apple is, wow, didn't even notice that one. Apple is, as I've been focused on this, Apple just dropped off. Like, we were just like, fine. Boom, huge move for Apple. Now that's $1 in the money as well. Hey, guys, let's just stick with our guns and stick short. And I feel like as long as we do that, we should be okay. Probably the wrong name here in Roblox. Like, if I just focused on Apple, we'd be short up here again, another 40 cents. Let's stay with what we're doing. That's probably the best solution right now. I'm going to stay away from the longs.
The trend is your friend till the end when it bends.
Yep.
A wise Jedi once mentioned that several times on this show. Of course, I mean Obi. It was a great quote by him. Sometimes I just like to take it as my own, but I'm not going to do that. I was asked... So I jumped back into Micron. I said it didn't show you. I got wicked out of Micron here. So 75 and then 74. Like, when you break down the next support level, I like the short curls, but I had a really tight stop, so I widened it a bit and jumped back in here off this level. I got 97s in. I was asked, where is my stink bid on Caterpillar? I'm surprised. First of all, you asked me where my stink bid is when the support's down here at 220. I expect someone to be able to come up with the answer. But the answer is 224.42. 42 is my favorite number.
Yep.
And so 24, like, obviously that's Willie Mays and Jackie Robinson. It doesn't really matter. Again, I'm going to buy that, and once I do that, the next leg is going to be I'm just going to buy it the next quarter. Probably buy the same amount the next quarter after the next report, and usually just either just buy after a couple of days after the next report. But I just want something in front of that support level, and then wherever it happens to be the following quarter, if I still like it, I would just buy more to get back in. CFO of SoFi, Matt Carnes saying CFO of SoFi bought 40,000 shares at $669 today. Insider buying's never a bad thing. And I do like it's still going up. So, SoFi was a buy at 650. And maybe it was a trend to the upside that I wasn't seeing. So I didn't do it. But the point out was that SoFi, they were looking at an upward trend. And since it made that low, it's all green candles into a somewhat weak market. I mean, the market's trying to bounce off the lows. This is a much better bounce on SoFi. I don't think it got down 10%, but it got awfully close. You know what? It might have got to exactly 10% down. This is also an SSR bounce. It might have gone short sell restricted by 1 cent if my math is right. That should have been a long for sure then. Oh well. It's a bit of a miss.
Powell's still talking right now. If there's anything, Brendan will come to us with it, but it's still a couple minutes away from Frank, so that's good. I'm putting a stop in right now at 361. Sorry, 362. A break at 362. Putting it in right now, and then I'll talk about it after. Right there, you know, we've kind of wicked up to that. The highest we got was 362, basically flat. It goes back about an hour, 45 minutes to that high. So if the market wants to keep fading, fine, we'll be there. But you know, we've seen so many bounces happen in this market, especially now that you're down close to that 1%. Could see a little bit of a rally. I don't really see the reason to rally, but again, Powell's still speaking. I don't want to get caught off guard here. We're still short. We're net short, obviously. You can see that. So all is well, but just giving everyone that sort of heads up that that is the idea behind what I'm doing right now. Trying to get that cover in case there is some kind of a blowout top somewhere here right now. Not that we're expecting that, but you never know what could come through. So that's something there. And then Microsoft, Roblox still in the short, about to get taken out of this one. Like, obviously, this is not a short. We tried it. We did get a few fills. We got 202. We got one fill at 03 and one fill at 02. So that didn't happen. Was just trying to see if it wanted to break back down below. We're getting close to getting taken out of that one. And then there was a question about AMC. So I don't have that much to say about this other than this is still that long from the morning. So I don't really have too much worries about it because we don't have too much into it. But you could see there's 870 right there as a VWAP spot. So if you're still long and thinking about getting out, you bounced around VWAP the earlier time it was there at 130, and right now you're there again. So this is probably a decent spot. You bounced up, you fell down into 840. Now you're back up to 870 on earnings and, of course, on the offering today that sent this.
Oh, yeah. 350.
Yeah, look at this. Boom.
350 million offering.
Down 20% right there. And we did the math. And I sat here and was like, okay, it's down this much. It was 350. The market cap's 1.2 billion. Where does it go? And it was about $2, and that's pretty much
was about right.
Where it stopped. So
it's like when you do napkin math, you're just looking for, like, you're looking to trade off of that at a general price area. Like, it doesn't, your napkin math doesn't have to be precise, but it was close enough that the $8 level is the first big round number that you're going to come up with. So it was a good one. I just wanted to note, so Instacart, this might be an interesting short tomorrow if it takes out this bottom. So we had the SSR bouncer. I had to lose first before I actually got the long. And as usual, when it failed VWAP, I get out, and then it goes further because that's what happens when I do that strategy. But it's down almost 10% today, and this is obviously it's an IPO, so these are all-time lows. But like, what do you think happens if this takes out 23.5? There's no underwriters left to defend this thing. So if it fails this, like whoever's accumulation buying down here, if the answer to accumulate for a month at 24 and just under it is after the report, break it in a day or two, then I want to be in that short. So it was a good bounce here today. Maybe one more shot at it tomorrow. But if we're underneath 23.5, I think I look for this as a short at some point tomorrow. Yeah, this is looking a little bit. There's some consolidation happening overall. Like, you're not really rolling over. Like, that move for me just now was what? Like, in the last pop down, it was 10 cents in Micron. That's not really going any further. Fisker's not doing anything. I'll let you guys know if it does. I'm still not scalping this 37.80. Again, until wicks to 37.80 exactly and bounces, you could just be making 10 cents every pop down there, and I'm not doing it after saying it's trending down. We do have, today was a big earnings day. After the bell tonight, tomorrow morning doesn't have anything because, I mean, it's Friday.
Right.
But tonight, there's plenty to still look at.
Yeah.
Unity. Oh, the ring's on this hand. And then, of course, the trade desk. Plug Power. I know there's a lot of you in the chat that are interested in Plug Power. Never sleep on the casinos. When that'll be in there for you. So you're going to have some trades there anyways, despite the fact that it's not jam-packed. That just means you get to focus on a few movers. Unity still has a fantastic, I shouldn't say something like fantastic short interest.
We are
because that's not, yeah. I don't think-
Unity? No, I think
It's
it is
10. It's 10%.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
But like that's good for traders because it creates volatility. But that's obviously not great for the stock.
Yeah, it's not overly fantastic.
It's not overly fantastic because my poppy fell off again.
Yeah. You know what's been fantastic right here is honestly, and I'm not going to feel bad about this because we talked about it, was the reload in Roblox. So we'll drop down a little bit more money on that one. We reloaded it. We're now short at 38.15, so not 16s. We just covered some at 03s there, guys. So you know, it came right back in 05s, 03s. I think we got an 02, or did we? No, the best we got through was 04. We covered at 04 and 06 on that temporary move down. Now, I did make, it's going to look like a mistake, and maybe probably it is, but Apple right there. So Apple did come in. We did kind of screw that one up, that's for sure. That came in and we just got out immediately, so that is a big mistake there on Apple. So no doubt about that. It came up through 182 and I got out on the 182. Now it's just Tank City back down. So I feel honestly pretty stupid to have done that trade. But I thought and again, stick to what you do, man. Like I thought we were breaking above. We hadn't broke above the 50 period since 2:30. So an hour ago, I thought we were going there. We weren't. We got out. That's it. So bad trade there. Should have probably held on to that one, but we didn't. So whatever. But not good. So not overly thrilled with that position. But that we did what we did and got out right there. We still are short softy. Long that AMC off that number, and then waiting for Roblox just to see, man. Maybe if the market does end near lows, which it is right now, then we can get some kind of a 38 print again on Roblox, which would be pretty good if that comes through. So, yeah, all is well. I don't know. Are we ready for Frank, or you guys just tell me if and when we are? It's 3:30 right now.
I haven't seen the early look. I was gonna hope we could give that to you before we went to Frank. Well, look, even if we don't get the early look on the imbalances, someone in the community always has it in the chat because it's a great community, or I'll just put it in myself manually. If it's only giving me the 10-cent scalp on Micron, I'm just going to start taking it and rinsing and repeating it. And maybe even the same thing with Intel. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Darwin. 85 million to the buy side. That's essentially nothing. And apparently Marriott authorizes the buyback. Not that anybody cares. So I don't know if we're ready just yet. We are ready. Let's go. Obviously, with Powell talking today in this market move, let's get right to Frank Caberna.
So, Frank, I don't know if you're watching this as well, but they've just wrapped up as we speak. So the final comments just coming through, the final questions being answered right now. They're standing up as I'm watching this feed and walking off the stage. So we want to make sure we had a chance to touch base and get your thoughts on not one, but now two appearances from Fed Chair Powell this week and what that means overall. I mean, we didn't really hear anything yesterday as far as monetary policy. And to be honest, I listened to this whole thing. There wasn't much here today either. He did reiterate, however, that in the opening remarks, that there is still work to do. They could still have to go higher. So kind of more of the same old here.
Yeah, it felt like, if anything, the speech today, and obviously, as you all have seen here in the afternoon trading, was a reason to take some of the shine off of stocks and also build a little bit more shine into yields, since it's been such a rough go the last handful of days. And yeah, I mean, it's tough because you could, in a silo, interpret today as being extremely hawkish. I mean, you have 10-year note prices off a full point, which is a huge move, and 10-year yields up well over 10 basis points as we speak. And it looks like they might close the day right there on their highs, as the 10-year now is back to 465 after getting right down to 4.5%. And this is, a month after being at 5%. I know a lot of numbers to juggle here, but at the end of the day, it feels more like some organic profit taking, if you want to call it that. I mean, this would have been the 10th day in a row NASDAQ closed higher. This would have been the 9th day in a row S&P closed higher. And I think those would have been records for the last almost 20 years of trading in those stock indices. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a 5-minute chart of Treasury prices or yields, definitely looking like the speech this afternoon kicked those markets into highs for yields and now closing lower for stocks. But this might just be a little bit of some healthy organic reversal, given that we're on the precipice of some pretty extreme short-term action. Like I say, almost 10 days in a row in one direction for NASDAQ. The odds of something like that very slim, and historically that has not played out very many times. But that being said, it would be a different story, Brendan, if NASDAQ was off like 3% and 10 years were screaming back to 5%. I think this is just the market middling the sentiment of the last month. For a second there, it looked like we were going to scream past 5%. The last week of trading has looked like it's going to fall back down to 4%. Right now, the market telling you that we're just going to hang in here around 4.5%, and stocks might not be climbing to those all-time highs as soon as people have thought in the last 2 weeks of trading.
Yeah, the sideways action continuing. It's interesting. I was having a conversation with someone today about this, in that any other environment, a random Thursday afternoon speech from the Federal Reserve Chair that had nothing to do with an interest rate decision would be not even worth talking about. But given the environment that we're in, there's always the possibility that something can come out that can be market moving in this case. Let's look ahead, very quick into next week. We get not one, but two inflation readings. CPI, obviously the big one, PPI, the next day coming up on Tuesday. I mean, we've had an absolute line all week long of Fed representatives with this same hawkish tone going into this next CPI print that the market will obviously be watching closely.
Yeah, and the market here, both those economic data points and stocks and bonds and everything else over the course of the next week will tell us whether or not these central bankers were leaning hawkish for a good reason. That is, inflation is stickier than the market's pricing in right now, or even kind of reverses back to the upside. Remember that headline CPI did actually reverse back higher than some of the previous data points the last time or two that they reported CPI. And so either these central bankers, Brennan, are talking about something that they know before the market knows here, which is inflation might be heading slightly higher in the short term, or if inflation does edge lower here with those readings next week, then more of the conversation of, are these central bankers talking about potential more rate hikes and higher for longer just to try to successfully hit that soft landing that everybody's been talking about here? One way or the other, obviously we'll find out with these data points. But yeah, if that inflation comes in lower next week, especially lower than what's expected, then you might see stocks really take off, and those yields, that 10-year that has a tenuous grasp of 4.5% right now, even with today's bounce, might really give away some ground. But yeah, it is right now a conversation of, is Powell trying to tell us something by keeping rate hikes on the table, by keeping to reiterate this higher for longer message, that he knows inflation is going to pop back up here in the next couple of months? Or is he just trying to keep these markets from completely pricing in rate cuts as soon as, the first half of 2024? That inflation piece next will be essential for finding that out. And I think, yeah, stocks will take a lot from that number here. As yeah, to your point, if markets are moving based off of, a nothing sort of Fed Chair Powell talk, then some hard data from inflation or employment is certain to move the market.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that might be the next narrative here and the next, leg in this conversation, in that we went from, bond markets and yields overall really not paying attention and really not buying what they were talking about, to the exact opposite. And now we might actually get to a point where we start going in the other direction again, if some of these data points start coming off and we see a little bit of easing, and we see, regardless of what the speak is that's coming from the Fed. So more to come. I know it's been a busy day for you. We appreciate you jumping on real quick to just kind of wrap up what has been I mean, could have been an important week with 2 appearances from Fed Chair Powell this week, but not much in the way of outcome from that. Appreciate it. Frank Caberna is Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago. Go check out their website, guys. Banner at the bottom there. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks so much, Brendan.
Well, it's still an important week for the market. I mean, the price action
Still going down.
Yeah, the price action speaks for itself, right? Like we're still headed to the downside, whether or not anything sort of meat got said, meat and bones or whatever you want to call it got said from the Fed. It doesn't really matter. Like the price action is spoken here. You've seen what's happened with some reversals in yields. It's very different today. We've rejected a big level on the futures. As far as reloading anything, I did make 2 trades. One of them I said I wouldn't. I did it anyways. But Micron at 74, at least I said I would do that one. But I did actually cheekily say that if a little bit late in the day it gets dangerous. Tomorrow, for sure, I'll be trading the stock again. It has been essentially free money shorting the pops in this. It's just at some point, this is going to very much run out of liquidity, and then there's always a chance that it could pop in and then get really dangerous. Just happened on FSLR.
Ninja.
Get on the flow.
Get on the flow.
What is Mystical doing? He's obviously out of jail by now. But
Is that obvious?
I just realized, okay, I still had that offer at 74 because I had to trail out at 75 on Fisker. I'm like, well, I might as well offer 74. If I get 74, I'm going to get out of 75 breaks anyways. Well, it just filled. And nothing's really happening on the stock, so I'm just going to... It's barcoding. I really don't think this is going to do anything crazy. So if it breaks 75, I get out. If it gets back down in the low 70s, I should just take it out. It's very late in the day. I kind of got caught with an offer still out there. It's a couple of cents worth of risk, but that doesn't mean I had to still be sitting there. My stop's already in place. There's not much to do, so there it is. Like I just saw it coming up there. The fill comes in, and then you just punch it out automatically. But that does remind me, I do not need an Amazon stop order because I am out of... I punched out of Amazon manually. I'll lose my 15-minute chart. I punched out of Amazon manually, and then just... don't need to have a stop in there. We'll hold on to the Micron trade and then see how far this goes. We got that 74 reload. I'm thinking 73.40, that was the opening bottom. Today, Micron's still up on the day, despite everything you've seen to the downside. Not bad for Micron, but it's certainly reversed fortunes at 75 when pretty much everything did. I mean, if something didn't break down this afternoon, good for it. Even Disney, it did break 90, but to its credit, no, it didn't fall apart. It's held 89.74. So if you went long Disney, you'd kind of just be sitting out there not losing money, which is better than the alternative, to be honest with you. But it's not a lot of movement off this level on Disney. So hang on to your butts. Let's take care of some business at the desk.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and 0 commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
There you go.
Yeah, we just had Frank from IG, so thank you so much, Frank, for coming through. Make sure you grab that QR
Apparently
code
go Bears.
there below. Yes. In Chicago, right? We talked.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's
I know that's where he is, but I'm saying the game tonight is in Chicago. Yes.
I didn't know. I actually didn't know.
Just double checked it. All right, so I'm trying to. We got out. We covered Microsoft. I don't know if we discussed that or not, but we did. We covered. Then we tried to go long here at 361 before losing, and now I got back into it. I don't mind this trade, so let's just see if it works out now on a long. I'm trying to get it against that bottom there, just in case there is a temporary rally. So that's 360.50. Yes, so that's my out, 360.50. Trying to just give it a little bit of breathing room. The imbalances could come the other way. I mean, I don't know exactly. Brendan brought that to us, didn't he? What was it?
We didn't do the individual names though.
No. But what was the number?
It was very small.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Here's what we got right now.
85 buy side.
And buy side 85. So it doesn't look like much there. So we're just gonna look here. Suncor, Citigroup, not AMR, AMC. Oh, that reminds me. Let me discuss my AMC trade because I do have an offer out for that. Oh, darn. Okay, so I saw AMC go pumping there up to 880 again. And then we made this. It's not even that big of a wick, but it's just that wick right there on that one last green candle. As soon as I saw that up to 80 and it came back in, I actually offered. I'm offering right now 75s. So right there. But I only put that in too late. I realized it down here that we might have made that big top right there, only to fade back in now. And I know it's not that many pennies, but we would like to get out. So I am offering right now 75 right there on AMC in case there was some traders that were asking about that one. I do have an offer to get out. I think it was 25 or so on Microsoft, into the 30s there. So a little bit of a bounce back up. Now I see that's at 26. Let's just put an offer. Where are we long? 20 cents? All right, if it goes up to 361.20, just because it's the 20-period moving average, we'll get out there. And then not get out, we'll get out of a third, and then hopefully it'll blast up to the upside again. Don't want to hold on to too many longs into this close, but if we have to, we will, because I think it'll be fine. Roblox, little stupid stock here that I was excited about, then it faded back out, so that's good. Oh, we did not get that fill. I thought we did. Right there, so good fills at 05s, but the best we ever got was 03s off of these reloads short again, so you can see what we're doing there. And that's it for AMC, and then honestly, this Apple trade, we got out at 182, it's fine, but it has made the moves into the 80s again, and this futures market looks like it wants to turn around. So we could have taken 10 cents on Microsoft. Now it's down 10 cents. So we'll average in a little bit more here, I believe, anyways, on Microsoft, if we can. Yeah, in the 70s, we'll average it in, and then we'll see what happens from there. And then we're getting some more Roblox love, hopefully back down near 38. But other than that, not much going on here.
Yeah, so I didn't rinse and repeat that 37.80 on Intel, which you could have done multiple times, but when it broke, I did just get short 78.5. I got some 79s and some 78s, so I have 78.5, and let's see if it can roll down. It's already 3:45. It's weird. Obviously, I know what time it is. We've been talking about the imbalances, but we generally speaking have Frank on at 2:45.
And it was late now.
Yeah, there was something in my head that was like, we still have some time, but we don't really. So this is going to be normally my approach here would be, look, let this get all the way back up, risk that full 10 cents, maybe even think about adding down here for a breakdown. There is not enough time for that to happen. This either falls right now or I'm risking 5 cents instead of 10. There's only 4 minutes till the imbalances, so it's a very tight stop. It was a great suggestion in the chat. Frank obviously being a Bears fan, like why doesn't Sean bring in a Packers jersey for Brendan to wear the next time we do an interview? Brendan wouldn't wear it. But it does beg the question. Jeff comes on and
I don't want to throw hate at Frank. Like, we don't have a bet.
I do it with Jeff all the time.
Because you guys, I have to introduce that to Frank. So
He's cool.
Yeah, but I want to introduce it that we'll wear jerseys. But then, wait a second.
When they play, you guys should have to.
Yeah, but I don't have a Bears jersey, and he doesn't have a Packers one.
Yeah, we could figure something out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, would make a lot of sense. Like, obviously, I do with Jeff. Jeff Bendel.
Let's do it.
Went from OTC, and he's a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a Bills fan. Obviously, Sean is a Packers fan, as we're mentioning, and then Frank is a Bears fan. I think he's a White Sox, not Cubs fan.
Yeah, I believe that's correct as well.
Which is
it's also a little bit unfortunate, but
they're not doing too well this year. They didn't do too well. We had 3 minutes to go till the imbalances. This should be the last couple of positions, and at this moment, the very tight stop on one, and I have not tightened up my stop on Micron yet. The other one, I do not want this getting past this local bottom. That's about 73.75. So as usual, at this time of day, canceling other stop orders and tightening up stops on the positions that I'm going to be in going into the close, which has been, for the most part, it's been trending to the downside, but you've had some serious deceleration at the bottom. Like, it's essentially a triple bottom on the 15-minute chart. We've been bouncing in a 30-handle range. So it has been favoring the shorts, obviously, but we found some semblance of support in the markets. Let's see how that does with the imbalances when they come to 350. Eric in the chat just said, obviously you're joking, Sean is a Packers fan, unsubscribe. So I'm guessing you were like Eric from, I'm going to guess, Chicago, Minnesota, or Detroit, obviously. Yeah, it's fun. We like to have fun with football around here.
Unsubscribe.
Everyone just likes to.
No, it's fine.
All the Dallas fans take it in stride when I.
He could be a Steelers fan who we, of course, beat in the Super Bowl. I mean, there could be a Broncos fan who we beat in the Super Bowl as well. I mean, there's lots of different fans out there. So it is what
he's saying. Chi-Town. So.
There you go. Yeah. So Chi-Town.
I love Chicago. I'm a big fan of deep dish. You cannot go wrong. I would
to the CME.
Yeah, CME's there. We should do a road trip to Chicago. I love the city of Chicago. It's a great.
I've driven to Lambeau a couple times.
It's a great place to visit.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Just
Is
too
it?
bad sporting-wise. I'd like to
it?
see Bedard. Connor Bedard coming through. So, okay, we're
First hockey
we're at the
reference.
Raptors game next week anyways. Okay, so only 1 minute left. Just really real quick. I don't know, you guys probably didn't notice this, but Roblox went right down to O's there.
That's crazy.
So no one would have noticed it probably other than me because I'm sitting here literally and trading this thing. But there it goes right. What just happened there? Oh, AMC. Okay. So there it is, man. Anyways, Roblox came back in. We took some more fills. We're pretty light on it right now. Just want to talk about that. There's the fill right there. So AMC does go into 75, and we get that fill. So good out. I consider that a pretty good out. 75 cents. We'll put that on the board. And yes, there you go, Frank, for that one.
Hawk Harrelson.
Yeah, exactly. Coming through. So
He gone.
we love it. We loving all kinds here. So that's the trade. Roblox, we got out of that one. We just got out of that. Oh, and I wanted to say, I could sit here and ho-hum about, what about, it wasn't even about out on Apple, but, when you question some of your outs, I mean, that out on Tesla, that was a banger. That was a good one. We just saved ourselves $3 on that out. Here we go. The imbalances are out. So what
Yes, sir.
do we have? Let me just right-click and get rid and then see what's going on right now on this. It's what it is. Apple with a bid. So there's the buy side. So a little bit of buy side action. You do see Softy. Nice little trade there. Of course, as the market goes boom, Softy go boom as well. So we get that fill that we wanted. AMD buy side. These are just temporary booms, I would imagine. Amazon as well. There's not too much action here. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
2.7 billion to
Good,
buy.
good.
2.7 billion. I just got trailed out of both of my shorts at the exact same moment when that number hit.
Yep.
So out of Micron, out of Intel, the market, I mean, it's not moving that much, but obviously 2.7 billion to buy is not nothing.
No, it's moving around enough, that's for sure, and enough to get us, again, Microsoft, next target. If we can get this name to rally up into 3.6, it's not going to. It's going to fall down because that was just temporary, as Neil just said, got trailed out. Same as me. I mean, we got out of our long on basically a trail, right? I mean, it made its move all the way up, hit the spot we wanted to. Like, look where this hit on Microsoft. Like, if I was short, I don't know if I would have got out. It would have been close enough. But right there, right to the 50 period, and then down. So look where we have our out. And again, you have to anticipate it. We talked about having stop orders and things like that, and that's why we have them out. So, all right, join me coming up very soon. We have Win. If we can put up the earnings board, if we have it again at some point, but it's Win, and the reason why I want to put it up because I can't remember what else there is.
Unity.
Unity, that's what it was. All right, I got to make the board now. So because I had Win on there and I forgot to put on Unity. So let me do that, and then that's that. We'll talk all about some of the trades today. We'll do a little bit of a Q&A as well. So we'll do a little bit of a Q&A today. So get your questions locked and loaded for that.
I didn't say it the right way. 51-51, you are correct. Every time we say it, we got to say Unity. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Rick James. Eric in the chat, who is from the Windy City, mentioned that Duolingo. Did we manage to go the whole day without talking about Duolingo up 20%, 21%? The answer is yes. And sometimes things are not day trading stocks and they get pushed aside because it's a trading show and we're going to talk about the things that are moving that really are tradable for day traders. Duolingo was not generally that kind of a stock, but I'm going to wager to say it wouldn't have been that hard to find a long, I suppose, if you had really looked at this. Clean breakout on the daily for them. And it even made a clean, look at a clean 201 break late in the afternoon here. This is at 318. I mean, it's a quadruple top at 201 even. It doesn't look back. It even dips off of that and gives you a couple of dollars upside there. The spread isn't necessarily the best, so I don't really know. Like, it looks good technically, but I'm not sure. I've never traded it. What kind of a fill you're getting when 01 breaks? It's not Apple. You're not getting 1s, 2s, and 3s when it breaks an even dollar. What if you're paying 20s and 30s? If you're paying 20s and 30s, that changes the risk to reward of how you make a trade on this. Like, you're better off with a consolidation dip buy. But great day for Duolingo. 7 minutes to go. I just kind of felt like Bill Burr. We got 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Anyone from Philly knows exactly what I'm talking about there. That was legitimate. Duolingo, I meant to go to the daily chart as well. I didn't see anything because I didn't zoom out far enough. Eric said last stop is at 205. Sure. I mean, 180 breakout.
Why not?
You know, it just broke out 200, so 205, why not? Every $5 seems like a level to me. That was a bad wick out on the imbalances. Sometimes it does. Yeah, it's, you know what? Every single day it's the same plan. And I'm not going to change it just because the market was that weak, but it was a 2.7 billion to buy, trailing stop goes in, it trails out, and then, you know, everything's continuing to flush, like right back into the lows. Could have held on, but you have to have a plan at some point. You always have to have a plan. Ama Hamada, Neil Roberts knows pizza, then sad Sean Katina is a Packers fan, boo. Why no look at my Nintendo? Well, we don't, you know what, we don't really pay as much attention to
There's not much
some of the
scalping there.
ADRs, especially when you're looking at them dual listed in the OTC, and we can't trade everything out there, so it's not an excuse, it's just the truth. We can't look at everything. Nintendo had a great report, I'm not going to hate on them whatsoever. But there was something else I wanted to get to. It'll come to me in a minute, but we have 15 seconds until a possible pair off of some of those buy imbalances, which suggesting by the tank that the market, or the reversal the market just did, I'm going to think that some of these things are going to pair. TLT being a big one at 4 million.
5 right now.
But you're under $1 million on Apple, AMD, and Amazon, and it's probably going to, there they go. They start to drop off, all of them gone, so everything paired off. TLT paired to only 700,000 to buy. And I don't even see, I see Rivian, I see Roblox for 500, that's the old level. Yeah, none of them. None of the big cap tech names maintain those buy imbalances. I don't see a single one over 500,000 shares. So I feel like that work was done when the market reversed down here, and it didn't even make a difference. It basically told you it was going to reverse those imbalances, with the exception of, you know, Tesla's actually closing on higher high.
I was going to say, I just accidentally, that's hilarious. I just had an offer there on Tesla when you mentioned it, and I got filled.
I just happen to have the chart up.
Yeah, it came right back in right there. Okay, so what goes up must come down. We did get that lucky fill there on Softy, of course, so we talked about that on the imbalances, and then we just bought some more there at 65, and then it dropped through 50, and we got out. So just whatever, a cup of coffee there at the end of the day. We tried it. Thought there could be a little bit of a bounce back. It looks like the bounce back is happening now, not before. So good move right there for the market. Microsoft just dancing around. We'll be here tomorrow, man. I mean, or I won't be here tomorrow, actually. But the market will be. Damn it. Love having the day off, as I have a lunch date with the wife, and then we're going to be up in Barrie.
Where are you going?
We haven't, Italy and Sherway is open, so we're going to go there.
Yeah.
And then we have, I have a hockey game at 7:45, about an hour north from here in the morning. So we're gonna go do that, which is still fine. You know, we like driving up there, that's for sure. And then we're back down here. We'll do some lunch, and then anyways, so it'll be Obi.
Obi Trice, that's an early morning. But that's how, with hockey.
No, but I'm gonna say I'll be probably waking up a little bit after, even after you.
No, but it's, I don't get up at a healthy time, and I never have.
Right.
My father used to get up at like 5 a.m. when I was a kid. And when I would get up in grade school, I was getting up with my dad. I'd eat cereal with him, and he would go to work, and I would lay in my bed and try to go to sleep. And so I've always been waking up early my entire life.
My dad's up at like 5:30 every day now anyways. It's like, it's so crazy.
It's so different when you get old. There's only 3 minutes to go, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there. I kept talking about Unity for earnings, and we never even tried to tee this one up for you guys. So apologies there. Just very quickly, Unity of the 10% short float is getting shellacked today because everything is getting shellacked today, but it's still held on to 25. A lot can change. And I'm suggesting a lot is probably going to change in the aftermarket. I don't know what the implied volatility is. I'm going to assume there's a decent chance it's over 8%, and if not even double digits for Unity. The way that this moves when it gets going can be nasty, although it's been pretty muted on the daily chart recently. The last few days have been wild on this stock. Going into earnings, you have not had a calm day on this stock. It's been at least $1.50 top to bottom, and that's the least of the moves this week. So I'm expecting some serious fireworks. That's a huge move. Plug as well is another one. Shout out to them. With 2 minutes to go, not a lot of time. Oh, Bob W., don't give Obi a hard time. He'll be fine. He was taking care of his cat, man. Like, if you can't sympathize with making sure his cat was okay because it got lost, like, I'm not even a pet owner, and I can sympathize with that one. I just saw Trader Forever say Snow may have just DB'd. So you mean double bottomed? It's way too late in the day to be thinking about a double bottom for a J trade, but you're always setting load. You're always setting things up for the next day, and that's what I love to see. Like, you should always, I like to make notes late in the day. Look at the bull flag on the 15-minute. There is one, there is two. If we hold on to 156, sure, that's a good double bottom, but it works both ways. If 156 breaks tomorrow, that is a flat bottom break for Snowflake, and the market has been reversing. So you don't want to get married to one direction, because if that breaks down and you get caught trying to long, that could get really nasty on Snow. No, Bob W, it's fine. It's just, it is what it is. You know, you don't have to take back the comment. We like to have fun with each other. I poked fun at Obi for being late that day as well. We like to have a little bit of fun. With 40 seconds to go, Unity aftermarket tonight, plug as well. Sean's going to have all that for you in 30 seconds, as I'm sure Adair is making her way, there you saw her behind me, over to the bell on this wild and zany and ridiculous Thursday, where the market finally, if you like trading, then you prefer it when we break out of the range, right? We broke out of the range. It happened to be to the downside, but you had to have the shorts. There were a lot of good ones on today. Get the camera off me, throw it on over to the awesome green screen. There's Adara. Let's drop it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it. And now the market is closed. So we did not end to the upside, spoiler alert. The NASDAQ down 0.8%, the ES down 0.8%, the Dow, I have no idea, down, let's call it 0.3%. I'm just going to make that crap up. Thank you very much to Fabian and Ramin. As always, want to thank them for being on the ones and twos and doing a great job with that. We already shouted out our man Obi. He's going to be filling in for Sean tomorrow. You know where he is right now. Sharif will be with him, always doing a fantastic job. I saw some good trading from Adara, who's continuing to learn right in front of you every single day. Shout out to her. Great interview. As always, from Brennan, also keeping us abreast of everything that was going on with the Fed and Powell's comments and some of that Q&A. Shout out, of course, to Frank Caberna. We love him. Great guest. And this morning as well, we had Raheem Alani talking about some of the cannabis names. It was a full and fun day, and it's not over. Why isn't it over? Because you're headed right on over to the desk. Trader TV Live continues with the market recap and some earnings names with Sean.
Hey guys, welcome to the market recap. Thank you so much for joining me one more time here as we go. Wow, what an exhausting day. I'm not even sure how many trades we wound up putting on there today, but the move started to happen about 1 o'clock when we had those bond read, and then it was a straight move to the downside.